with Marlon Brando.
Okay.
Allegedly, Michael Jackson is a thief. He's Machiavellian.
Okay.
In his theft of people's work. A lot of stories, and that everything that he's done is great, and he's had no failures, and he very full of himself. This guy.
Okay. Now, what stuck out to you about this thing?
I feel like he's like bitter about a lot of things. Like the whole Michael Jackson thing is like, for him to be talking about even all these people, like they're not allowed to defend themselves.
Right.
You understand? I feel like it's wrong to talk about people who are dead if they can't defend themselves.
Right. So why wasn't he talking when those people were around?
Yes, exactly. And why doesn't he talk about, like, say, what the allegations of Tupac against him?
What were Tupac's allegations against him?
That he tried to make a pass at him, and like that Quincy Jones is gay.
Okay.
Yeah. So why don't you talk about that?
Yeah. All right. So, anything else? Any color you want to add to this?
It was something funny that Yabi said was funny. It's just because they asked him about Bill Cosby. Uh-oh. But then he just started,
See how you did that?
Yeah.
Bring me into it.
Because, it's a discussion. But
right.
He talked about Bill Cosby, but he was just there like, we're not going to talk about that, in public, like, and saying, like, he's not going to talk about that in front of company. But he's like, we could talk about how Harvey Weinstein's a piece of shit. He didn't return my 5 phone calls.
Well, I'll clean this little part of it up,
okay.
Or whatever, and then I'll gracefully back away again.
Okay. Step back into the bushes.
Yeah, exactly. Clearly. No, it was just a mention in terms of the interview that he was doing. I believe it was with it was the Vulture. I think it was the Vulture, but I'm not sure. But anyway, one of the things he was mentioning, they were asking him about he's seen a lot of things, right? So regardless if Quincy Jones is bitter or not or anything like that, he has seen a lot. He's been around a lot. He has an ear for sound, obviously, and his hands have been in a lot of work. And what he was talking about was just that there's a ceiling for black entertainers, particularly black males and black females. And he said women. And so he said, man, it's very rough for these two to kind of get ahead in this industry, and you're asked to do certain things that you don't want to do. And he said he knows a lot, but he's not going to touch on that. And so then he said something similar. He said it's been rough for those two for a long time. They're in the same boat. And he was talking about in relations to Hollywood and the Me Too movement. And so what the interviewer did was said, well, what about Bill Cosby? Bill Cosby's been doing a lot. What do you have to say about Bill Cosby? And he was like, what about him?
He was like, yo, that's my man's in there.
And he kind of just, and he left it alone. And so it was just, he said, like, come on, we're not talking about Bill Cosby. We're talking about Weinstein and all the other, individuals these powerful men in the industry who've been doing these things to women for a long time. And you're bringing it to Bill Cosby. Like, we'll talk about Bill Cosby when it's about Bill Cosby. We're talking about this. So why are you trying to bring it to Bill Cosby? So that's all that was going on.
He basically said, to quote Dave Chappelle, my blackness will not allow me to make such a statement.
Oh, okay.
Well, I mean, he's making statements about Pryor and the rest of them.
Well, there you go.
Right.
All right. So anything else we want to add to that? Or are we
can
pretty
move
much pretty much good? We're all right.
We can move on.
All right. Okay. So the Super Bowl happened and a lot of news broke there. We got our first look at Han Solo. We got a new look at the Avengers. We got a new look at Jurassic World.
News in relation to film.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, because I don't care about sports. So what?
Right.
So, but there was a very interesting thing. There was a trailer that dropped during the Super Bowl, and it was the newest entry to the Cloverfield universe.
Right.
But the difference here is that it was available to watch instantly after the game. And I I think that this is we're in game changer territory.
Okay.
When you can be on that kind of a scale and show a trailer for a movie and say, by the way, you can watch this right now.
Right.
And you can sort of take advantage of that sort of impulse buy.
Right.
Because how many times did you watch the trailer? The movie's not coming out for another 6 months.
But you're hype.
You're hype in the moment.
Right.
And when it comes out, you're like, I don't care anymore.
Right.
And then you're like, I'll catch it on DVD. Now it's just like instantly.
Right.
Instantly, you can go and watch that movie like right now.
That is very interesting.
So I wonder if this is going to change things for theater chains, right? And again, I get that, the big, like the superhero stuff and the blockbuster summer movies and Star Wars and stuff,
right.
Those are all going to be big and still in the theater. But like, what does this say to, the future of cinema, where you can just drop a trailer and then just here it is right now?
It depends on the projections of what happens with. I don't know how they're keeping well, I know how they're keeping track of these analytics, right, of the viewers and things like that. In regards to who's logging on into Netflix, how effective this trailer was during the Super Bowl, might I add. And did people immediately after the Super Bowl or a day after, did they come flocking to the Netflix subscriptions and say, oh, now I got to go watch Cloverfield? And so if you can look at those type of numbers and dissect it, then you can come and have a better picture of saying, you know what, maybe we should start pushing these type of things out a little earlier. Because one of the things, I don't know, this is not Netflix related, but film and movies, there used to be a 6-month window, right, from going from out of the theater and directly into your home, and that has shortened up. You could correct me if I'm wrong, but that has shortened up tremendously in terms of when you watch a movie in the theater and then it immediately comes on Blu-ray. I think there's a shorter window for that, right?
Sometimes it comes like immediately. You see it right there
Except
on the
for
cable
Dunkirk.
box.
I'm still waiting for Dunkirk.
It seemed like a month after or like even a week after it's out of theaters, it's like you could already order it on.
Well, right, some of those movies are on demand. So that's what I mean about this type of Netflix thing of where you do that advertisement. If you could see that there's continuing that type of trend, and what you were talking about before, there's a trend where, all right, what type of numbers did this do after the Super Bowl, post Super Bowl? Then we could start pushing
50,
movies.
100 million people watching the Super Bowl, and how many of them were going to go back and watch this after that?
Right.
And I guess what I'm asking is, and LeVar, you are right, that the delta is getting smaller from when it leaves theaters to when it's on streaming or on demand. But like, this is just like, you know what? Let's just bypass all that, because this is a movie that was produced by Paramount.
Yeah.
And Netflix bought the rights. They spent a lot of money. They paid Paramount $50 million for this movie.
Wow.
Now here's the other side of this coin. I watched this movie. It's just.
Here's the whole thing.
So that was a bad investment on their part? Is that what you're saying?
No, because Netflix is just about content. And it's like, whether it's good or bad, people still watch it anyway.
It
doesn't matter.
This was like stunt marketing.
Yeah.
Right? They pulled a Lemonade for movies, like Beyonce's Lemonade album.
In regards to Beyonce,
nobody knew this was coming, and now Netflix's name is in everybody's mouth. It doesn't even matter. So it's almost like,
aren't Netflix movies getting nominated for Oscars here?
Mudbound, yes.
Exactly.
So Netflix is always in the social consciousness. It's in the zeitgeist. It's in the stratosphere.
Right.
And that is the thing that will make people say, you know what, I got to keep my Netflix. You know what I mean? Maybe this one's not that good. Maybe Bright wasn't that good, but Mudbound got nominated for Oscar.
Right.
I don't know when the next stunt movie is gonna drop.
Right.
So I gotta keep it. Now, I do want to say this film has a black director, and it's all like made by people of color, like writer.
You're talking about Cloverfield Paradox?
Yes.
Okay.
Even if you look at the cast, it's like a colorful cast.
Right.
It's led by a woman of color.
Yo, you know what
director.
I think?
What's that?
This is just random. But since DC doesn't seem to know what they're doing, they should just put movies on Netflix. They should
Well,
super
no,
do it.
honestly, but here's the thing: DC is actually doing very well on the CW.
Yeah.
Right, they're expanding, and they had to slow down because it's like it's too much. They're like, we have to limit it to 4 shows, even though people want more, or 4 shows at a time. Right, because they have the Flash, Arrow, Supergirl, Legends of Tomorrow, now Black Lightning.
Right,
they're thinking about bringing back Constantine. They have plans for other shows, and it's like the CW is just going to be the superhero, the DC network. I think they should make Greg Berlanti run this film universe, but we'll see how that
DC.
goes.
Who's Greg Berlanti?
He's running the whole.
Not for nothing. DC
DC
has always
TV
had
show.
animated on Smash.
Animated and TV though.
Yeah.
You don't watch Arrow and the Flash.
I know, but I'm just saying their animation stuff.
All
all their animation stuff has always been top notch. From Batman, the dark, the series that used to come on back in the day.
Yeah, animated series.
Or just all their straight to DVD.
Yeah, that destroys Justice League. All of that destroys so many.
Flashpoint Paradox.
So many other
every
shows.
single one of those is greater than any live action movie they've done.
Sad,
besides
Sad,
the Dark Dark Knight.
You talking about that Christopher Nolan trilogy, right? Yeah, that's its own thing. But yeah, you're right. I mean, their animated series is out of control
on Smash.
So from the past and even in the present.
These were live action movies that
I'm just saying DC has TV in general, whether it's live action or whatever. On
before we move on, what about that thought? If DC actually did do Netflix movies and that market, because they're making money, but it's crappy product.
Ninjas at marketing these things. Like I don't know how these things just keep making money, except for Justice League.
Yeah. But think about that in terms of I don't even know how if they started sending like a Shazam on Netflix exclusively.
No, but they're doing a live action Shazam. I see what you're saying. They
Yo,
could put some.
DC,
I guess what you're asking
DC,
for
if you're listening, make your own streaming service.
They are.
Yes,
they are doing that.
Do that, and then have all your shows that's on. You can have all of that on there, all your animated stuff, and then put movies on there.
Here's the problem.
It doesn't matter. You don't have to worry about them flopping because people paying for the streaming service.
Here's the problem.
Go ahead.
Nobody would pay for that streaming service.
I would pay for it.
It would be just you. It wouldn't be enough. They would have to. I could see them partnering with a Netflix the way Marvel did, but no way is anybody. It's just DC content. It's like 50 different streaming services out there that they're telling you have to have.
Right.
And now you want me to pay for Is it $3 a month? Because then maybe
$3.
$3.
Actually, $1.49.
I thought you was gonna say hit him with the $2.99. Give me my 1 cent back.
Why you gotta do them like Monique, yo?
I'm just
like
saying,
they put in work. We were talking about how good their whatever content is.
Let's keep this thing going. So,
man, the disrespect.
The Super Bowl gave us our first look and some new looks at a lot of movies that are coming out. So first on the list, and this actually wins my Super Bowl trailers, is Mission Impossible Fallout. That man, Tom Cruise, still got it. There are moments.
So what is he falling out of this time?
Motorcycles, mountains,
falling out
a bed of money.
Yeah.
Yes, lions, tigers, and bears. He's falling out of.
Right.
The thing is, what makes Mission Impossible not your run-of-the-mill action series, because the Fast and the Furious series, that's an action series, and it's not superheroes, although they've turned them into superheroes.
Right.
You know what I mean? When you watch
White
these
tees
things,
don't get dirty.
they go out of their way to do these practical stunts, and you feel it. There's something that you cannot mimic with CG.
Right.
And they really make films that are just like, I remember you were just watching it and you saw like some of these punches or somebody getting thrown through a glass.
Got through a glass one,
It's like,
in the bathroom. It's like, ooh.
Oh, he's dead.
It's like,
he's dead. That guy's dead.
And to your point, I agree that in that sense that when you're looking at Mission Impossible, and you have to suspend disbelief, obviously, with a lot of these action films, but there's just a little bit there. There's that thread of believability that if you just trained your butt off and you join the M16 program or something like that, you could hold your breath underwater.
But honestly,
you could do this. You could scale a building. You can do these things.
I would like to see like a Batman movie that's like this, where it's just a dude doing crazy stuff. It doesn't need to be all of this CG, something exploding in the sky.
So like the younger years of Bruce Wayne.
CG stuff is exploding in the sky.
Literally, The Dark Knight Rises had an explosion in the sky. That's how the movie ended. It was like a nuclear bomb, but
and he lived.
He did. No. But I'm saying like you can look at these stunts like
right.
Henry Cavill in this looked more powerful than he did as Superman.
That's crazy.
And the mustache.
Maybe it's the mustache.
That mustache.
Mustache power.
That's what it was.
It's like you tried to hide the mustache. You should have gave him
I will
bearded
say this,
Superman. I'm here for it.
But you appreciate the believability of this
I think Henry Cavill keeping the mustache to make this work was worth the brick we got in Justice League.
Oh man.
I blame I'm mad at this shit because I blame it for, Justice League being terrible.
I don't know. This to me is
so you're blaming Mission Impossible because
kind
Justice
of
League
action movie.
It's Mission Impossible's fault that Justice League.
It's super Mission Impossible's fault.
That
Justice League is trash.
The crazy stunts they're doing in this is why you go to the movie.
Because of the pettiness.
Because of the pettiness of Henry Cavill.
You can't. Even though we don't need him for months and he could go it back, you can't shave it off.
No, they needed him. I mean, they actually didn't.
They didn't.
Tom Cruise broke his leg and he had time off, and they could have given him time to grow.
But they didn't expect Tom Cruise to break his leg.
Super petty.
But they could have. But again. It's not their fault.
Don't blame Mission Impossible.
I'm not blaming Mission Impossible. I'm excited about this.
You're blaming them.
And I was mad at Justice League. I'm saying is
I don't even watch Mission Impossible movies. I stopped watching like after the first.
In so many superhero movies, all of these fight scenes are just like CG stuff, and this is like real. Like we're really blowing stuff up. Right. We're really hanging on the side of a plane.
Stunt coordinators. Stunt
you want to know how you can do all of that stuff? Scientology.
It's them feetins. His feet levels up there. It's through the roof.
Only Scientologists can do shit like that.
On to the next thing. What was the next trailer we got? Solo.
Oh, you mean the Lando Calrissian movie?
Exactly.
Lando.
It's not too late to change the name of the movie.
I'm saying.
That one shot of Lando.
That sold it, man.
What did you think about it? And they had two
I'm
trailers.
here for Lando, bro.
Right? So we got 2.5 minutes. And usually, like, you'll have the one TV cut, and then you'll have another one.
So does this movie have you excited?
Right.
Does the trailer have you excited?
I literally did not care about this movie
until you saw Childish Gambino.
Until you saw the trailer.
Until I saw the trailer and
Childish Gambino.
But no, also Emily Clark. You got Daenerys out there.
Right,
you know what I mean?
Right.
Khaleesi.
No, I'm interested.
But what's crazy is how they was doodling all over this thing, like they wrote it off, like all the stuff all the stuff I've been reading about it is how they expect it to flop, and the changing of directors, and how it's a mess, and the script is unworkable, and how it's trash, and it's like damn near unwatchable. That's all the stuff I was reading.
I actually want to talk a few things about the Solo movie and why it was getting that negative press. So
to undersell it so that when it's just decent, people be like, oh, it's not even whack.
I don't know anyone that was clamoring for a Solo
movie.
It's not like you said this was an Obi-Wan movie. That's what people want to know. Like, where was he between episode 3 and episode 4?
Right.
But for a Solo movie, they got the directors, I think the guys who did Lego Movie.
Okay.
And they ended up firing them from the production. Right?
Right.
Because, they said, okay, we're going to make this kind of movie. Lawrence Kasdan wrote the script. This guy who wrote and I think directed Empire Strikes Back, maybe he just wrote it. Mm-hmm. But they were ad-libbing all the scenes. They had to get an acting coach for Alden Ehrenreich, the guy that's playing Han Solo, young Han Solo. And, Kathleen Kennedy, the producer, she is the Kevin Feige of the Star Wars world. She let them go and essentially brought in Ron Howard to write the ship. So with all of that turmoil, you would think that the last 3 Star Wars movies, that it would get pushed back to December. But they're keeping this movie in May. This movie comes out May 25th. Also, the same month as Infinity War and Deadpool 2. My question is,
which is crazy.
Why
should it be in May? And if so, why?
About that a little later.
That's crazy. Why would they not space these movies out to make maximum money?
This is excluding Deadpool. This is all Disney properties. Yeah. So I agree with you. Like it makes no sense.
Now,
they're coming out what 1 week after? No, 2 weeks after each other, right?
Basically, you have Infinity War and 2 weeks till Deadpool, and then 1 week from Deadpool. So Deadpool only gets 1 week to breathe, and then Star Wars. And essentially, all three of those movies are the same fan base.
They have to know that Infinity War is the big movie.
I don't even think Deadpool should be coming out in May.
When did the first Deadpool came out in February, right?
February. Okay. Black Panther has that now. But Deadpool could have been June. That'd have been a perfect month. We don't have a big summer of things coming out. There's not a lot. Those are the superhero movies this year.
Right.
So, but now, more specifically, Fox is Fox and Disney doesn't own Fox yet. And Comcast may have something to say about that, and we'll talk about that later.
You know what I got to say about that? F Comcast,
okay, bro. Slow down. So, but my question is, why keep it in May? Star Wars has been doing well in December. They usually don't have much competition in December.
Right.
Why not leave Marvel this summer and take Christmas? It's been working out well for you. The last 3 Star Wars movies have done over $1 billion each in December.
All right, but
with not much competition. And I wonder what's going on behind the scenes. Is this like dick swinging from Kathleen Kennedy and Kevin Feige?
No, but were they doing great in December because that was by choice? Like they said, Kathleen Kennedy said, no, let's put these movies out in December. Or was this because did they have an initial date always in May, and then things happened and these kept getting pushed
now, here's
to
the
December?
Thing. Here's the thing.
That's my question.
All 3, so we're talking about Episode 7, Rogue One, and Episode 8,
right,
were all originally slated for May releases. Due to production, some production issue, one or another, each one of them has all gotten pushed back to December, and Episode 9 is also getting pushed back to December. So I guess I'm asking, is Kathleen Kennedy running a tight ship? Maybe she's not running as tight a ship as Kevin Feige is running on the Marvel side of things. Because here's the thing, in any corporation,
or is she using Gorilla Glue to make sure the water doesn't leak out?
When you have high-level management and they're running a product, like Kevin Feige and Kathleen Kennedy are sort of not against each other, but sort of vying for how much sway they hold over the Disney company.
Yes.
Right? And because they run the 2 most profitable products, they're Star Wars and Marvel. So I wonder if Kathleen Kennedy is just like, look, I missed 3 dates. I'm missing the 4th one. We're not missing this one in May. Don't panic. What do you think, Mr. Woods?
No, I think that's the only thing that comes to my mind, because seriously, in that type of situation, I thought December was their thing because that was by choice. And then you were telling me that no, actually it was getting pushed back. All of them were supposed to be in May. So every time your boss knocks on the door and asks you, hey, when is this movie coming out? Oh, it's coming out in May. And then they come back around in March and they're like, yeah, December. And so they come to you that, this is what, the 4th movie? And they're knocking on that door. So the movie's coming out in December, right? Because we know that you're going to screw this up again and there's going to be delays. And you have to reassure them like, no. It's coming out in May. And you want to make sure, because you don't know if you're losing favor with your employee.
I don't think she's losing. Kathleen Kennedy is a beast, right?
Right.
This is not her first rodeo. She's been out there putting in work. She's behind producing Jurassic Park and a bunch of other things.
But all of these things are having negative press. LeVar was just saying that Solo movie was, like you just said, right? All of this stuff.
I don't know if it's negative press, but it's definitely negative stuff behind the scenes.
Right.
Where things are running long. There's issues. Even J.J. Abrams, there was some talk around Episode 7 that he was having issues. So I just wonder what the environment is like over in Star Wars Town under the rule of Kathleen Kennedy. Because I don't hear any directors, except for maybe he did what's this, the Ant-Man, the original Ant-Man director, something, right?
Edgar Wright.
Edgar Wright, yeah. Right. There was some issue there, but that's the only movie where you heard about like production issues. Thanks for joining us, Jason. So I don't know what's going on over there.
I don't know, man. But like I said, it's just a matter of, after you've seen that you've done well in December, it might have been by mistake, because you've messed up and missed the deadline, you should just stick with December because there's really no competition and you can handle your business. That's just how I look at it.
And that said, though, I actually was very excited about the trailer.
So you think it's going to do numbers?
I don't know what it's going to do, but I think strategically, maybe they kept it in May also, because if it doesn't do well, they can blame Infinity War.
Yeah.
Right?
Well,
because you have to have a story to spin it. Why doesn't this one do well and it's getting all this bad press?
Right.
If you put it in December,
so does this guy become the new, what you call it, Han Solo to you?
I don't think he needs to be the new Han Solo.
But it's called Solo. It's just like,
no. I'm saying,
is this a one-off?
I don't want him to. It is a one-off.
Yeah, it's a one-off.
It's
a one-off. It better be a one-off.
Just like Rogue One was a one-off.
Yeah,
it's a one-off. But I can say
they're trying to show you concentrated stories.
Childish Gambino, Donald Glover, is the new Lando.
Right.
I'm okay with saying that.
And he'll probably get his own film if
this does well. Or at least if he sticks out. All right.
Right.
I just want the Childish Gambino action figure
with the coat.
Lando.
I want that coat.
That would be fly.
I want that action figure.
Let's keep it going. What was next on the list? Skyscraper. Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Yes,
it's not even just Dwayne Johnson. Dwayne Johnson.
He's been trying to remove that. The Rock
trying to get away from the Rock for a minute.
He just wants to be Dwayne Johnson.
I mean, after what he did with Jumanji, he can do whatever he wants.
That guy could write his own ticket, bro. He's making all the monies.
Reminded me of Die Hard.
I was gonna say that. Funny you say that. I mean, I was gonna say that he's the new Bruce Willis. He's the new Bruce Willis.
This is interesting. What did we think about this?
He's just more buff.
Yeah.
All he needs to say is "Yippee-ki-yay, mother effer," and there you go.
Yeah, Bruce Willis becoming an action star in the 80s was very weird to me, because if you always looked at Schwarzenegger and Stallone, like they were in the gym, bodybuilders, boxers.
That's why he was.
Bruce Willis was like the everyman.
But he was the everyman. That's why it made it so.
He was like the Al Bundy of action stars.
Right. That's why he blew up, because he was so unconventional in terms of you seeing all these like hulking
with his receding
dudes,
hairline,
and then you see Bruce Willis.
Yeah, but he wasn't pudgy or nothing. He was just regular looking.
No, but that's what made him so popular.
Super average,
right?
Balding.
Yeah,
he's just a cop.
Right, talking junk. So, but as far as Skyscraper, I don't know. I mean, it looks good. It visually looks good. I don't know what to expect from the film. I know it's all about family and him saving family. Family.
Honestly, it didn't do nothing for me.
It didn't get.
Yeah, but let me explain to you something.
But it visually looks dope.
Because The Rock is in it. It's gonna make
no, I'm gonna go see it.
Right.
Yeah, and The Rock can do no wrong right now.
Right.
But
you mean Dwayne Johnson?
You're right, Dwayne Johnson.
Actually, you should keep calling him The Rock so he can come through here and try and punch you in the face.
The Rock.
His mama called him Rock. I'm gonna call him Rock.
Right.
Actually, his mom called him Dwayne Johnson, but that's neither
Vince McMahon called him The Rock.
Let me explain to you something, because I'm gonna double check it just to make that goddamn sure.
Doing your Googles over there?
Not even Googles. What's his name on Instagram? The Rock. Not even no Dwayne Johnson.
Just The Rock.
The Rock. His name is The Rock.
You gonna call him Rock?
My name Rock. I'm calling him Rock. That's it. Your name is Rock.
Right. So this is
but it really
his acting name is Dwayne Johnson. He's not gonna put The Rock. It's just. But he's always The Rock.
The interesting thing about this is that he is playing a war veteran who
is an amputee.
Yes. And he has a prosthetic leg, and I think that is a very interesting take,
right?
Because it makes him not like a superhero. He's gonna have to do this by grit.
Right. What? Right. Not a superhero? That leg must be bionic. Because how the f did he jump off of that damn thing to the damn skyscraper and make that jump? How? How? Sway?
I could say how.
On a peg leg.
I could say how. Family.
Family's how he did it. Yeah,
that's it.
He was like, "Didn't you see goddamn Fast and Furious? You don't know what I could do."
That's it. Family.
Okay,
that's all it is.
All right, what do we got next?
What's up? What's
Jurassic World 2?
Who cares, bro? Dinosaurs.
And here's the thing. The original Jurassic Park is one of my favorite movies
of all time.
It
still stands the test. Hold on to your butts.
And this, I just don't care. I didn't care for the last one. I don't know how it made $1.6 billion.
I went to go see it because I was just like, okay, I like Chris Pratt. And, I liked him in Guardians. So I was just like, let's go see it.
There's nothing about this that has me saying, oh my God, I can't wait to see this, or I'm scared, or it's bringing me back to a kid. It's just like, and it's all CG.
So, but
the
why
other one they use practical effects.
Yeah,
and
it looks
dinosaurs felt
CG. It
real.
doesn't look real to me anymore. It's just like, okay, CG dinosaurs.
But does Jurassic Park, does it hit home for you guys because you were younger, and that's
No,
why
the original Jurassic Park.
the
Go
original?
watch that. It's
Right.
still because the way he did it with like the real like practical effects,
Right.
mixed with it gave us this level of realism.
Okay.
So, but this is just like a bunch of CG dinosaurs, and it was the first time when you seen it because they used like the CG and the real thing.
Hey,
it
what's
gave
up,
you
man?
this feeling of that dinosaurs are real. Like this could, it's like, oh, holy shit, they really did it. You know?
Right.
It's just like, okay, it's not the wonderment of seeing it for the first time, and the fact that they're not using practical effects is just like it takes away from
whatever.
It doesn't have the magic of seeing it the first time.
I just figured maybe because guys are older, it's just like it doesn't.
No, because I'll still go back and watch the other one. And again, if you look, there's not even really
none of the Jurassic Parks was as good as the first one
from
Right.
the previous movies, right? They're not.
Right.
They're not bringing anything new to it that's worth like. There's no. I don't.
The
see
second one was
real,
cool,
like, filmmaking
because they brought them to the city.
Right.
So because it's like, oh, okay, you ain't ever seen
Yeah, we wanna
dinosaurs
do
like
like
walking
a
through a
Godzilla
suburban
thing.
neighborhood.
Right.
So that was cool. You know what I'm saying? But after that, I'm tired of it.
Doesn't
already.
matter.
I don't care.
Yeah, because I
Dinosaurs,
really don't have
who
no
cares?
opinion on it. I'm like, all right, Jurassic World.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna
It's
see
a
it
thing.
anyway. I'm probably gonna see it because I see movies,
Right.
but I'm not excited to see it.
All right, what's next? I don't know. Okay, now we're into the superhero thing. Infinity War, we got a 30-second spot with all new footage. We saw Iron Man and Doctor Strange do like a team-up attack. We saw Spider-Man in space. We
Right.
saw Captain America out there with Black Panther. We got a little shot of Black Widow. Again,
Are they really making a Black Widow movie?
they're working on the script right now, yeah.
Wow.
I mean, yeah, they are. It's called Red Sparrow.
I see what you did there. That
So
was a good one.
I'm super excited about this. By the way,
Side note.
Finn says all the animatronics from the past cost too much when CG is cheaper and more efficient. I do not agree because these movies cost $250 million to make. So they did not spend
Inflation.
that much on the original film.
Yeah.
The budget, if you look at the budget for the last Jurassic World movie versus the budget for Steven Spielberg's first Jurassic Park, it is way more. So I do not agree about that.
I was just gonna say a side note that it said when they showed Thanos' face,
Yeah.
he had these like 3 scratches, and so there's people on the net talking about
Wolverine?
that was Wolverine. Yeah.
Black Panther did it.
Yeah.
Thanos tried to
It
come to
happened in
Wakanda.
Wakanda.
Don't come out here. I don't look. Get me upset.
Right.
You want to come
man.
to Wakanda? This is the place you want to touch down on Earth?
Right.
Out of all the places you could have came to, Wakanda is where you're coming.
where you would have come
Okay,
to.
all the universe,
Right.
you're going to come to my town.
You're gonna try to make shit hot from me.
Not having it.
Nope, not
No.
having it.
I mean, the trailer didn't get me hyped because I'm already hyped.
They're preaching to the choir.
Yeah, it doesn't.
At this point, you don't even want to see anything.
They got.
'cause
Do you
go
see
see
the
it
set?
I'm just ready
Do you
to
see the
see
set?
Avengers.
We since the inauguration, we've been ready for this thing.
Yep.
Since,
So I don't need to see another trailer. Like it's just
since the
I'm
very
ready.
first time when we saw him at the end of the movie, he turned back and smiled. We've been waiting for this moment.
right.
This is the culmination. Like we've seen that whole thing, that whole montage where they showed you and the whole class of whatever. This is the moment.
Right. So there's nothing I need to see.
I didn't need to see anything. They had my money.
Is
They
there
had my
anything you
money
want to
10
add
years
to
ago.
it? But
10 years ago, they had my money,
Keep
my
moving.
man.
They
10
had
years
your
ago.
money when you saw Blade.
Since 19, how long, bro?
talk about
All
it.
right.
Since I read the comic book, they had my money.
No, but this speaking of just how much films cost, they're saying this film cost upwards of $500 million to make.
Is that a lot? I don't.
I mean,
What's the
that
gauge?
it will be the most expensive film ever made.
Wow.
And
It's worth every
But
penny.
then
It's going to
again,
make all
all
the
of
money.
those
Pay a lot of those
actors,
people
all
in
those
there.
actors. That's why, yeah.
so speaking, now let's move on. Just because they already have our money.
Yeah. It's nothing
Next,
We don't need to
we got
oversell
our
it.
first real Deadpool trailer.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, this was a real trailer. It wasn't like a
fan
teaser,
made or teaser or anything like that.
It was Deadpool made.
Right. It wasn't
because he had to do it himself.
It wasn't Bob Poole, which was amazing.
Right.
Wasn't as good as the Bob Poole trailer.
The Bob Poole was just creative. I liked the Bob Poole trailer more.
Okay. But no.
Wet.
No, but okay. So, what do we think about how Cable looks? What do we think about? Do we know anything about the story? And was that Terry Crews on the plane?
Is Terry Crews Bishop?
Dun, dun, dun.
Crazy.
No, but it looks like he had the whole X-Force there. There's a shot where he's out there on the plane.
Yeah, it looked like somebody was like, because I watched, when people, break down the trailer.
Right.
And it's just like, okay, somebody could be Shatterstar,
Yeah,
trailer breakdowns.
With the football helmet.
That thing, we got the ponytail in.
Yeah. What do we think about it? How do you feel?
I think it's going to be like...
You think it's going to be as good as the first? Do you think it might be better?
It's going to be better.
I'm actually, it's funny that you bring that up. I'm actually a little worried that because
they changed directors.
Did they change?
No,
they changed
because
directors?
it's still.
No, I'm just worried that because the first one we didn't expect that, right?
Something.
And it was
it's
amazing.
still going to be.
But I don't know about the second one.
If it's going to be Ryan Reynolds being Ryan Reynolds or Van Wilder, because he has never stopped being that character. If you go to Instagram, he's always that. He's always that character. He's always doing that type of humor.
That shtick.
It's going to be always, and it's just going to be that turned up with Cable and Domino. How and like other members of the X-Force, even it's just for comedy purposes.
But will it get tiring? You know what I mean?
I'm not tired of it yet.
If it doesn't feel fresh.
Well,
it's
I guess
the same but fresh. You get what I'm saying?
The jokes will be bigger.
Should they do the same but fresh, or do they change things up? Do we say maybe the first one was what it was? Let it be.
Let it be
what
that,
it was,
and then we're
gonna
take it a little more serious or something like that,
or just a completely different direction. And again, this is a different director. We have one of the John Wick directors that's doing this. John Wick and what's the movie with Charlize Theron? Where she was
I just forgot.
Let me explain to you something.
Okay.
It's going to
be
Atomic Blonde. There you go.
So, but Tim Miller's not directing this.
So y'all doubt this movie?
I'm saying I don't know because Tim Miller is not directing it.
I think it's going to be good. I think the stunts are going to be bigger. I think because
bigger
of how much...
is not always better.
I think because of how much passion Ryan Reynolds has for this thing, it's going to be good. Everything, from the trailers I've seen, from the wet trailer to that teaser one where he was there in the phone booth and with Stan Lee. And
the person died and he didn't get to him in time and all of that. Right.
And then to this one now, you know what I'm saying? I believe it's going to be a good movie.
Here's what I'll say.
Terry Crews is in there. He better not be pop locking and flexing his muscles.
Oh my God.
As Bishop.
That's facts. That's facts from Finn. All I'll say is that as far as with Deadpool is that the first Deadpool was amazing and fantastic, and it was self-contained, right? With the budget they had and just everything that had happened, it worked out. But now that you're introducing Cable.
And it looks like some X-Force,
and it's getting a little
Domino's
more serious.
Definitely getting introduced.
That's when it's like, well, Deadpool, is he going to be this comedic presence, but the movie itself is now geared in a serious direction, or is it a big commercial where it's just Deadpool doing all of his slapstick and they're a part of his world?
He's
you know what I mean?
Break the fourth wall. Is going to be an action movie. And I don't know.
So that's just why I'm a little cautious about it. But I'm still looking forward to it. I'm going to go see it.
It's going to be good. But trust.
I mean,
they hating on you, Ryan Reynolds, but I believe. Look at them like, I don't doubt it. Like you can't do it again.
They hating on the movie.
Justice League should have been good.
Yeah,
there was a lot of action.
Like y'all don't sound optimistic.
Stuff blew up.
Y'all don't sound optimistic about it. I'm saying. It's just like,
I'm always cautious.
Man, it's going to be good.
All right. What do we got next?
What's
see
up
here? Venom.
Oh yeah, I'm not so optimistic about that one.
See, look at you. You just went in, and now you're not
That's the flip side of the coin.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. Let me start off.
Okay.
I'll start off by saying this. If I'm watching a goddamn Venom trailer, I want to see mother effing Venom. Like, what the F? That's like general consensus. Like, it's not called the Eddie Brock story. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing like when they showed that damn picture of Tom Hardy there reading a book or whatever. Like that's supposed to get me excited. Who gives a shit? Like I want to see how he's gonna look as Venom. Is he gonna be bigger in the suit? How is it gonna be? Is it gonna be like Agent Venom? Is he gonna have the teeth, the tongue?
Guy.
That's what. Even if you only showed it to me for 2 seconds, that's what everybody wants to see.
This is the first trailer.
I get it.
It's a teaser trailer.
I get it.
You're gonna see Venom.
No.
Why are you?
No.
How are you tight?
If
and you're gonna go
if
see
you're
Venom?
not gonna show me Venom, even if for 2 seconds,
right?
Or because it's just like they're going based off the fact that they just expect Venom, and I'm supposed to be excited. It's not like Spider-Man. Spider-Man has had like 8 goddamn movies.
Right.
Spider-Man is in the general consciousness of people.
That is true.
You understand? Spider-Man's have how much of damn cartoons, but to introduce him as his own character and then you don't show like whatever the suit or nothing. That doesn't get the average person excited.
But what if they have to sell you
I'm gonna
Eddie
see
Brock's story first? They have to sell you on
give
who
a
Eddie
shit.
Brock
I
is
want to know what he
before
looks
we
like
bring
as
in
Venom.
Let me ask you a question.
This doesn't get me excited.
Let me ask you a question.
This guy's Negative Nancy over here.
Depending on how he looks in the next trailer, is whether I'm going to be excited or not.
If you get Venom in the next trailer, then all of this doesn't matter.
All I need to see him is for 2 seconds. I need to see what he looks like.
And they will probably give you that for 2 seconds.
Here's my thinking. If they had showed Spider-Man in it, and you know what I'm saying, Spider-Man just swing.
Then it'll be about Tom Holland and Spider-Man.
Even if for
and you won't care about Eddie Brock.
Even if for half, Spider-Man is intertwined with Venom. Their whole thing. There's no Eddie Brock if there's no Spider-Man.
But you need to sell Eddie Brock.
Yeah. If you will allow me, okay. I'm gonna ask both of you guys questions and shit on both of your lives. Okay, LeVar. It's not just about the Venom costume, right?
It's not a costume.
Or the Venom
It's a living symbiote.
It's a symbiote.
He's not going to be rocking spandex or some shit.
And in order to sell a Venom standalone movie, you have to sell us on Eddie Brock and the character.
I get that.
Hold on one second.
But at the very last second, the last frame, show it form on him and then show me that.
Hold on. You have to do that. I get that. Now, my next question to you, Mr. Woods, is did they do that? What in this trailer says Eddie Brock is an interesting character that I want to look at?
It was generic as hell. Any movie.
What in this trailer says that it couldn't have been another Cloverfield movie or your run-of-the-mill
any
sci-fi
destruction,
movie?
action, or whatever movie?
He told you that everyone's got demons, man.
Oh, okay, because he said somebody has demons and he shook a little bit?
If they didn't show the name Venom, I don't know what this movie is about.
Okay, and
for that, there's some anticipation. Finn asked about why is Eddie Brock in California?
Well, in the comic books, Spider-Man and Eddie Brock, or Eddie Brock and Peter Parker, they came to an agreement and they said, look, I'm not going to come after you as long as you don't kill people, and New York is my town, so you go and you could be in California.
Go somewhere else.
That's from the comic books. That's why he's in San Francisco. From the Agent Venom, I think is what they're going with, where he sort of works these government ops, and that's his town. Right. He doesn't step on Spider-Man's turf, and Spider-Man doesn't come to his turf. Now, and that's the agreement him and Spider-Man have. So that's why that happened.
And all right, so there's the explanation.
The trailer
for
doesn't
that.
give you any of that, though.
But you're gonna build up. You're gonna build up.
Okay,
you're gonna
talk
about.
Saying,
you have to get on board with who
this
Eddie
trailer
Brock
doesn't get
is.
me on board.
I don't think
it's just like
I don't think that they did that. That's my point. What I'm saying to you is, forget about the Venom costume. Maybe they're holding it.
Symbiote. It's not costume.
The symbiote. Forget about that. Maybe the CG's not done. We got 8 months for that. There's time. This was just a teaser. What I'm asking
That's what I'm saying. It's a teaser trailer.
What I'm asking you is what about this trailer makes you hype and original other than the Venom logo at the end? And if they're going to show the Venom logo at the end, then you should have showed the Venom costume if that's all you have to sell it on.
Tom Hardy doesn't get me excited.
Tom Hardy in what? Right?
He's telling you there's demons.
Oh, just because we're hyped, just because this is a Tom Hardy movie is what
Tom Hardy.
But again, to me, there's nothing about this trailer that makes the movie original. I didn't need to see the symbiote. Right. I didn't need to see Carnage, but I did need to see something that says, okay, this is something different. No, what I saw is this is going to be your run-of-the-mill sci-fi movie, which Sony thinks they can just put together like they did with the Amazing Spider-Man and the Amazing Spider-Man 2. Just because you showed me him riding a motorcycle for no reason and cars driving into each other for zero reason and blowing up behind them, none of that makes sense. That's just like
well, they did
Hollywood
show some
stuff.
black goop in a tube moving around.
That could have been anything.
There you go,
movie.
black goop.
Okay, so I should be excited about Black Goop.
Goop.
They didn't show me anything to give me an insight onto what Eddie Brock's life is like. And if you're not
in a petri dish,
if you're not going to show me the Venom costume, you need to sell me on Eddie Brock. And if you're not going to show me the Venom costume and you're not going to sell me on Eddie Brock, show me that I'm watching something different. So, none of which is what they did.
So basically, you agree with me.
I agree with you, but it's not just about like we need to see the.
It's not that. It's just like it's not what they showed us was not exciting enough for me to go see this movie.
You're saying it's not enough.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
I understand.
Next.
I'll be in the minority. It's Tom Hardy. Black Goop.
Yeah. So Tom Hardy is what you want to see, not the Venom.
Black Goop, man.
That's but based on the next trailer, the real trailer, we'll know if it's going to be trash or not.
Okay.
Here we go.
Here's some fun news.
So if you're hearing the Sony, which you're probably not. But that next trailer better be fire.
All right. Fun news.
Yeah.
What if I told you I was going to put some Game of Thrones in your Star Wars?
You was going to do what?
Disney
run that
has
back?
just jumped into a deal with Benioff and Weiss, the writers and producers of the Game of Thrones series. This is their next project.
This is their next project.
What, are they making a Star Wars TV show?
No, they're going to make a series of movies. So they are in control. They're producing these movies and they're writing them.
Oh, this is not the TV show.
It's not the TV show.
Oh.
It's a series of movies. So it could be another trilogy or even more. And this is separate from the Rian Johnson trilogy.
Okay.
This is just Benioff and Weiss. They are writing and producing a whole new set of Star Wars somewhere in the galaxy. It could be the Old Republic. It could be anything. But we're going to get their
I was going to say, this might be the Old Republic.
Storytelling in the Star Wars world, which I think a lot of people have been clamoring for. And I, for one, am very excited about this. What do you all think?
I'm looking forward to it. I want to see what they're going to do. And I want to see what timeline they're going to choose. Because...
Or they could do something completely new. It's a big universe.
It is so
an infinite universe.
Right. So they say. But no, I'm looking forward to it. I want to see what they're gonna pull from, what they're gonna extrapolate the information from, the storylines, how they're gonna thread it in. And so, do you know specifically if this is about a trilogy or 6 movies or?
It's just a new Star Wars storyline, and that's all the information they gave right now. But they entered in the agreement, and this is officially the next thing that Benioff and Weiss are doing. So they're going to finish Game of Thrones.
Happening. Right.
It's 100% happening. They're going to finish Game of Thrones and then go into Star Wars.
All right. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. They did.
And the level of epicness, I think we can look at the final season of Game of Thrones because that is like 6 episodes that are like movie length.
Right.
So we will kind of see what their storytelling style is with movies.
Right.
So
and look,
I'm very interested here.
George R.R. Martin, he didn't expect somebody to... For one, he was very reluctant to give anybody his baby.
I was watching some interviews with him. You know, he didn't need the money.
And when they came to him and they had to prove to him that, listen, we read your books. We know the in and outs. We know what's what. And we want to bring this to TV. Well, you know what I mean? So that's a big deal that they were able to do that and bring so much. And, you know, you've read the books and you know about how difficult that task was. And they did a terrific job.
A lot of people
and they condensed it in a very good way.
Let's just tell a Jon Snow story or a Daenerys story or whatever. No. They got it, and they, especially like seasons 1 through 4.
Right.
It's like scene
verbatim,
for scene.
Scene for scene.
They got it.
Right.
So
but now, you're going to do that with Game of Thrones. Imagine what they can do with Star Wars.
Now, here's the question I ask you. By the way, I do not agree with this point, but it is a point that people have said, and I want to hear what both of you have to say about this. Some people have said that Benioff and Weiss have fallen off in the seasons where they've gone away and past the books. So when they had to tell the story and they weren't constrained by the books, people say that the storytelling has lacked a little bit on the show.
I do.
Star Wars, I
don't
agree.
It's still not even whack though.
No, it's not.
It's
Hold on.
shitting all over Walking Dead.
All right, so I don't agree that the show has fallen off.
Walking Dead has definitely fallen off. Do you agree?
I mean Game of Thrones. Walking Dead, yes, but I don't agree that Game of Thrones has
Put him
fallen
on the
off.
spot like that.
But what I'm asking is, if they're given free reign,
right,
will they be able to tell the kind of story we want?
Okay.
In the Star Wars world, because
Yeah.
they don't have
that is debatable.
You know what I mean?
That is debatable.
They don't have
I don't know what else they've done.
training wheels.
Yeah, that I don't know what else they've done, but
Game of Thrones is enough, some would argue.
But look, personally, I do think that since they haven't had the source material verbatim, the writing has lacked. It's still top notch. Game of Thrones is still phenomenal, still a phenomenal show, still a phenomenal series, but it has lacked, and the writing has gotten, for me personally, a little porous in terms of the transitioning and then just some of the dialogue that happens between the characters. So I don't know.
I feel what you're saying.
With the Star Wars, hold on, but I don't know if I know what you're about to go to.
Yeah.
But as far as with Star Wars, them tackling that subject matter and getting into the nuts and bolts of that. Just with their vision of how they handle Game of Thrones, I feel confident that they can do what they got to do with Star Wars and just get the right writers on board.
You want to add anything to this?
What were you about to say? That as far as Game of Thrones and the storytelling,
as far as Game of Thrones and storytelling falling off, it's easier to do something once you have it there. You know, I can trace from this and then just go from that. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It's harder for them to come up with it, you know, on their own. Right. It's not, of course, it's not going to be as good. You know what I'm saying? Right. George R.R. Martin created this, so if they gotta fill in the blanks, and I think they're doing a pretty, you know, more than, you know, decent job.
Yeah,
you know,
definitely. Right.
Getting it
across.
I
think they also ironed out some things that was like kind of ran on too long and was a little too confusing in some of the books.
You talk in regards to the books, okay?
Yeah. Now there's some things that like I kind of wish they didn't leave out, but for the most part, I think that they made it more palatable for the audience, that was watching audience, it. Because there's some stuff in the books that was just like, okay.
Right.
It wouldn't have played well on screen.
Gotcha.
So all right, let's move on because we still got a lot more to get through here. Hey, remember we was talking about that Disney and Fox deal, and the X-Men coming home?
Okay.
Word.
The talk of the town is that if you read the press release that came out from Disney, they've entered into a definitive agreement, but it is pending government approval, but also shareholder approval. And it's now they're talking about Comcast wants to swoop in and actually outbid Disney.
Let me explain to you something. Disney print their own goddamn money, and even if they do, Disney got the money to get it.
But at what point,
Comcast. Comcast need to sit their ass down.
Wow. At what point is it not
back your ass up
for them business wise? I know we want to see
back your ass up, Comcast. Sit your ass down.
Versus Avengers.
Sit your ass down, Comcast.
But at what
Don't
point,
you shit on my dreams of seeing all the damn seeing
he
Wolverine.
Cares about is seeing these characters.
This is what I want to see. Wolverine fighting the goddamn Hulk. Don't you F that up for me. F Comcast.
Okay. Mr. Woods. Now, what do you think about this in like a logical way? Try to keep some of the emotion out of it.
I got thrown off.
I'm just saying, bro. You don't want to see that?
I do.
Of course you do. Everybody wants to see that.
But what if Comcast actually outbids them? That's what I want to talk about.
F Comcast.
Forget about what you want to see. What if it happens though?
Yo, you're gonna make me say it.
Screaming F Comcast doesn't like make it not real.
It doesn't matter. Disney got the money is what I'm saying.
I don't know the nuances.
Disney got the money
of the details because I just got really bombarded with Comcast.
Yeah,
okay.
But Disney got the money. You can't compare, Disney to Guy.
Okay, so here's what.
Do a little bit of breaking down, and I could kind of jump back in. But
I'm sorry about all the emotion.
Let me try.
But I've been waiting for this for so long.
Let me try to get.
Don't
this
you have that up for me?
You
because look at how happy the actors have been. I'm sorry, but I'm passionate about this right here.
Okay.
When you seen Bucky and Thor talking about Hugh Jackman and possibly him coming back, like people excited for that, and Comcast want to F that up.
Okay.
No, I will not stand for it.
Okay.
But get your point across.
Is that's okay with you now? All right. So here's the deal. Let me calm things down for a bit, because it's also possible.
Right.
It's also in the same talks is that Disney had planned for this and is ready to outbid them to a certain extent. And also, it's also the possibility that they could just break the company up and Disney could take the parts they want.
Yeah,
and
I'm
Comcast
cool
could
with
take
that.
the part they want. Now,
Tech Avatar, I don't give a shit about that.
Now, again, the other part of it is Comcast was already in the runnings, but Fox wanted to go to Disney because there was less chance of hurdles for approval by the government.
Who is Comcast's parent company?
No, Comcast is the parent, but they also own NBC. Now, Disney does not own. Well, they own ABC, so there is an issue there. But remember, these are big broadcast companies that are buying other broadcast companies.
Right.
But with Disney, they don't compete in the way that Comcast does.
Right.
And so Disney can, in the way that they're buying it, because they're not buying the company, they're buying properties
Assets
from the company. And so it
properties
would actually work out. It's a cleaner deal with Disney, so they prefer to go to Disney.
So get the F on out of here, Comcast. You just want your name in the damn papers.
It's still a thing that can happen, and because remember we said shareholder approval.
Right.
Shareholders care about the money.
Right. How much
shareholders
money
know they printing money with Disney. Printing money.
But it doesn't matter. The shareholders are gonna just get paid.
And
more.
Then
that's it.
That's it.
So
the shareholders want the deal.
Yeah, but the shareholders want more money. So just
Disney
keep that
got
in mind, is that there is a possibility that
ain't no possibility because Comcast pockets ain't deep like that.
So Comcast pockets are very deep.
Is it deeper than Disney's?
Yes.
Way deeper?
Absolutely 100%. You don't understand how much stuff they own. Comcast owns Viacom. Comcast owns NBC. Comcast owns Universal.
But Comcast, Disney own everything else.
No, they don't. They really don't.
That means they own
They would have a majority stake in these things if the Fox deal goes through. But Disney is actually a relatively it's a big player, but not bigger than Warner Brothers or Comcast.
Fox Warner Brothers is Comcast?
No. I'm saying Warner Brothers is bigger than Disney, and so is Comcast. Fox is the small player there.
Well, Disney makes better stuff. Okay.
That's because they keep buying.
I was just about to add that. I was just gonna say that Disney. You got to remember
they
that
buy
Disney
stuff
always
and then make it better
and
fixes it.
Well, they make it. They tailor it to how they.
You know what Disney does is they say, "Yo, we make this look good. You wasn't rocking it right."
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
I think Disney sees who their competition is and buys them up. I think they saw like, hey, Pixar is cutting into on our cute animated movies. We're gonna buy Pixar. Oh, Iron Man 2 was dope. Superheroes are gonna be a big thing. Let's buy Marvel.
And remember,
we want to get into Star Wars. We want to get into sci-fi.
Similar to the platform that we're on right now, Facebook buying up Instagram and other things.
Yes.
Yeah, that's how business operates, right?
Duh.
Yeah, but and remember, Disney only moves when something is profitable, obviously. Right. But once you hit their radar, that's when they go in.
Better
right.
may not necessarily be the case. All right. We're gonna talk in circles around this, so let's keep going. But keep your eye out for Comcast may rain on your
going out of here.
Your X-Men.
F on out of here.
And the only a little thing that I'll add is that keep your radar that if Comcast does rain on that parade, the Disney has a backup plan. And how crazy is that backup plan that they have in mind?
They'll scoop up Sony real quick.
That is what.
But I don't even know if they want Sony.
They're counter. Yeah, just talking about this.
We're gonna get
Black
the Venom movie.
Black Goop.
No, but can Fox can't sell the rights to the Marvel shit to other people.
It depends on how they own it. It's not like the Spider-Man deal. Like Sony can't transfer the Spider-Man rights,
right?
But Fox may just own those rights. It just depends on how.
Because it's like you have to make a movie or whatever, or you lose the rights. So I don't. Can they sell those rights to somebody else?
They can.
And then it would extend for.
Again, we don't know how these.
We don't know the stipulation, so it may not even be possible.
I don't know that it's written.
It may not even be possible for them to do that.
The Sony.
But we'll see.
We just gotta look at the Sony deal when they got hacked. That's why we know somewhat what the Spider-Man deal is, but we don't know what deal they worked out.
We don't even know what it is.
All right, let's move on to the next thing. Okay, this is a big one. So Uma Thurman, and this is not about like the Me Too movement. I want to take a different angle here. So before we jump into our corners, Uma Thurman put out an article and sort of speaking about her
the Me Too stuff
relationship with
Quentin Tarantino.
Quentin Tarantino.
And what she was asked to do.
And what she was asked to do. And so, you know, the thing here is that she
felt mistreated on the set. I'm not taking, right. I'm just assisting you with that. But yeah.
Okay.
Wasn't there, we're not talking about the stuff against Weinstein and the rape and any of that?
No, we're not talking about that. So
isn't it kind of, you know, like
intertwined? We've done that so much. But this here.
All right. Yes.
Follow me. Follow me.
Follow
where I'm going. So essentially, she is saying that Quentin Tarantino not forced her, but sort of Jedi mind tricked her into doing things intimidated her into doing things she didn't want to do. She wasn't comfortable with.
Right.
One example is he wanted to get a shot of her driving a car, and she said she wasn't comfortable with it.
Right.
And he said, go ahead and do it. She felt pressured into it. She ended up driving the car and crashing it. And she wanted to get the footage of that.
But he gave her the footage.
He gave her the footage after many years later. And again, I just want to go through what the article says, and then we'll talk about his response because he responded to it. So then he says that on the film, while filming, he personally choked her to get the shot of her being choked and spit in her face.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are sort of jumping around saying, like, why would you want to do that? Why, are you getting your rocks off? Like, why is that happening? And so Quentin Tarantino sort of answers these things point by point. And he says, you know, he tried to get her the footage, but the studio and Harvey Weinstein lawyered up, and it was just him. Quentin Tarantino didn't lawyer up, and when it was safe for him to like legally give her the footage, he is the one that got her the footage.
Right.
Furthermore, he says that the person who wrote the article had an axe to grind, and he talked about the choking and spitting situation. Hang on. He talked about the choking and the spitting incident, and he said, look, I choked her because I knew that if I did it, we could do it in the least amount of time possible. I knew that if I was the one that choked her, then we don't have to yell cut 1,000 times if another actor does it. If I get an extra,
because he knows how he wants it to look.
To spit in her face. Yeah. So I said I will spit in her face because if an actor's doing it, we may not get it right, and we're gonna have to film it over and over again. That means he has to keep getting spit in the face.
He's doing it in one take.
Or if an extra does it, they're gonna be too scared to spit in her face, and then you're gonna have to do it over and over. So he said he took it into his own hands, and in hindsight, you know, maybe he regrets it. But my question is, if a director is in search of the right shot, how far can he go?
Let me explain to you goddamn something. Like, she is old and washed,
but
and now she wants to...
It's not her. They have made up. I'm saying the reaction to it is that people are trying to co-opt this into the Me Too movement and saying why...
I mean, we could if we were to talk about the Harvey Weinstein thing, because I think even her bringing that shit up is just like buyer's remorse on, you know, if we're not talking about that. But
no, I don't want to talk about that.
But that's super buyer's remorse.
I want to talk about, like... how far can a director go to make a shot?
Let me explain to you something.
Asked her to do
in Django, Leonardo DiCaprio cut his hand when he crushed the skull. He actually cut his hand. And then, this wasn't even in the script, but he cut his hand, and his hand was bleeding. And then when he smushed the blood in Kerry Washington's face and grabbed her face, and that whole look of shock, like, he just used it. You know what I'm saying? Like, that wasn't in the script. But to get this shot, it's just like, you know, it's in the moment. And then it makes for a better movie. So I was like, she need to pull, if she's not the one saying she has a problem with it, then I can't say anything. But whoever's writing this article, that's bullshit.
She's not saying she doesn't have a problem. She said she was uncomfortable, but she kind of felt like she
put on your big girl pants and shut the F up and get the shit done. This is acting. You know what I'm saying? If you want to be in a movie, somebody else would have gladly done it.
Mr. Woods.
I don't know. I think that all directors hate hearing the word no, because they want to film their
it's
film
his vision,
right, a certain way, and so they are going to, and it is typical for a director to push an actor out of their comfort zone. That's any coach, that's any person of any influence.
Hitchcock did it all the time.
Yeah.
Not saying it was right.
Right. But that's just in life, that sometimes people tend to push us out of our comfort zone to get more from us. Now, the real question is that how much is that because you're looking at it from an artistic standpoint, or because it's an abuse of power? And that we don't know, because we're not in any of these individuals'
You're not the
heads.
one making the film. I mean,
right. So I'm not in Tarantino's head to know that he wants to get, as you just said previously, he wants to get the best shot versus he gets to utilize his
I can't
power
tell her
over
how
any
she should
and every
feel.
actor at all times.
I can't tell her how she should feel about it, honestly.
Now, look, I mean,
but it's just like somebody else would do it gladly. If you don't want to do it, it's his vision.
Right, but
you know,
again, with that type of mindset that is prevalent in Hollywood.
He didn't rape her.
This is not about Me Too or nothing like that, but that mindset of like, well, if you don't do it, I'll get somebody else. That's what puts an actor, an athlete, somebody in their job or whatever, where you feel scared for you're trying to put food on the table and you feel fearful of your job, where somebody says, if I don't do this, somebody else will just come in younger, better, faster, whatever. Who's like, I'll be a.
So should they rewrite? Should they rewrite their script because you don't want to do it?
No, it's not. Again, I don't know what's in that director's head or
any person's head. These are both sides of this, like where LeVar's coming from, where you're coming from. Those are both valid arguments.
Right.
I guess the question is, is like Kill Bill was a dope film.
Right.
But was that dope film worth choking somebody and spitting in their face and somebody getting into a car accident and smashing their head in a car that they said that they didn't want to drive?
Okay, first off,
was our entertainment worth that?
Those two films were iconic, and that is what you will always be remembered for, the Kill Bill thing.
Right.
What else do you remember her from? Fucking Batman Forever? Like, really?
No. I mean, there's also
like Pulp that Fiction. Shit saved her career. That shit.
There's also Pulp Fiction, but
Pulp Fiction, but it's Kill Bill is like the thing that what I'm saying.
This is what I'm saying.
She was just a bit player, and
But this is my point: is our entertainment worth that? And the answer could be yes.
He made her an iconic figure, an iconic figure. Like Bruce Lee's jumpsuit, who was also worn by Bruce Leroy. He made her the third person famous for that yellow tracksuit.
Right.
Like everybody will always remember seeing her in that.
And I will say this: when I watched,
she's iconic
when I watched Kill Bill, the number one thing I took away from it was that's a powerful woman.
Yeah,
kicking butt.
The pussy wagon, bro. The pussy wagon.
And so
I mean, I can't even be mad at you.
That's what it was called.
That's what it was called. Like that's just what it was called.
So that's a thing. And so how do you square that circle? Like what you got is a vision you got a vision of a hard as nails woman who took no shit and would come at you
kicking
for
butt.
revenge.
Yo, she fucking dug her way out of the grave with karate chops.
And symbolically, like this is what women have to go through every day. They have to fight for whatever they
That's
get.
equality, bro. That's equality.
So
sometimes you gotta get spit in the face.
You have
that's
to
equality.
do behind the scenes. Maybe that's like the meta version of what the character had to go through, and maybe that's
you wouldn't hear a man complaining about that stuff, bro.
Yes, you would.
So I mean, again, it just
dudes complain.
It's about so. And that's why LeVar
Tom
said,
like,
complain. Is there a little bit of buyer's remorse? Is there a little bit of buyer's remorse
will get that shit done,
in that
bro.
situation? And that's where you go, like, come on, man. Like, you're iconic. You've done so much. But as I was just saying before, that you don't know if you should adhere to some of these actors. Are they being pretentious, or is it a legitimate concern that, hey, look, I really don't feel comfortable falling out of this window. Get a stunt
And here's
double,
the other thing.
you
Let's
know?
be clear. We just had 2 stunt doubles die on the Walking Dead set and the Deadpool 2 set for doing stunts.
Yeah.
Right.
So should we push
Apparently,
these
shout out
people
to
that
Nicholas,
far?
but he said that was one of his somebody he knew.
Right.
You know, in his
So
motorcycle
you
club.
know,
Oh, wow.
people die for doing these things. So like, what if Uma Thurman died in that car accident? Then what?
Let me explain to you
Then
something.
it changes everything.
Let me explain to you something. People die during a lot of movies, my guy. It's not that it should happen, but it happens.
Right, but if does it? But for something that
Bruce Lee
they
died
were
right after
clear-
doing, you know.
No,
Right,
no,
well,
I
there's a whole
understand. I'm
controversy
saying
about that.
what I'm saying is
Well, I'm saying about that comfort
Shit happens,
zone.
bro.
because it could happen.
Maybe,
So,
Right.
maybe because she felt uncomfortable. Maybe she put that energy out there, and that's why that shit happened. She brought it on herself. Thoughts become things. It's the secret.
Don't do that.
All right,
Don't
just-
do that. All right, you know what? I'm gonna go to the next topic on that note. But just think about that. Like, is all of that worth our entertainment?
Yes, because we got a great goddamn movie.
Okay.
That shit made her iconic. That shit made
All
her
right.
always be remembered.
Black Panther.
It's worth
There
it.
we go.
Somebody decided that they were gonna
5
have
more days.
all the power
Or
in
6
the
for y'all,
world,
but I'm going to see it the day
and
before.
Black Panther was running at 100% on Rotten Tomatoes until this one guy came along and said, "You know what? I have the power now.
I have the power. He-Man
Is
voice.
that what happened?
I like.
Yeah.
Can I interject, Steve?
Hold on. His argument was that Black Panther doesn't jump around and punch bad guys enough.
He
From
doesn't.
the Irish Examiner.
He doesn't
and
dance a
something.
jig. You know,
He doesn't jump around and
like a
punch
monkey.
people enough.
Like a goddamn
Punch
monkey.
bad guys enough. By the way, I saw at least 6 action set pieces
Right.
of
He says he
Black
wants to
Panther
jump and
punching
flip.
people in the trailer. So, you know.
And what's the handle of the individual?
He's from the Irish Examiner, but he's Ed something or other.
All right.
I'd
Well,
just like to say Ed something or
There
other.
you have it.
Yeah.
Pardon my French, but fuck that guy. The only reason, I mean, he's just saying that shit because he knew everybody's going to retweet it, everybody's going to say his name, and now
Right.
he gets effing clicks. F that guy. He wanted some goddamn attention. That doesn't mean anything. They should erase it from goddamn Rotten
Now,
Tomatoes.
I will join
That's
you.
not
in
far
5
fetched in him
days.
saying that, you know, this guy, because, you know, negative
will-
always gets you some more clicks.
If
and
you're
stuff
the
like that.
only one who said it, not you know, he got all the press in the world.
You
Right.
got power, and we're talking about it right now. But
Yes, exactly. He won. So let's stop talking
So-
about that guy.
so
F him.
I'm
Damn.
gonna hold my F that
I like that
guy for
thinking.
the next 5 days because I believe the movie's gonna be dope.
Right.
But after I see
Best
it,
Marvel
I
movie
will,
ever.
I will break.
Then you
Ever
get to come
until
back
Infinity
and
War.
right, right.
But I can't.
And we're gonna
I
tell
can't
you
just
again.
say, "Oh, he's an asshole," and I didn't see.
He's
the
an
movie yet.
asshole
That's weird.
because everybody said it's great.
All right, well,
Like people who I respect, critics who I respect,
By the
said
way-
it's great. They said they're not gonna say that it's the greatest one because they was like maybe people. He's like time will tell, but they said it's definitely up there.
Right.
All right.
Okay.
People who I respect. I don't respect this guy.
Now, speaking of bad things that are likely going to get a bad review,
Where's this transition?
Warner
Let me hear this.
Brothers has tapped Michael
Oh.
Bay to direct a Lobo
Oh,
movie.
God.
Come on,
The
son.
Bro in Space.
The Bro, that should be the name of the movie, The Bro in
Basically,
Space.
I
Lobo,
said this
the
before
bro.
the show, but it's just gonna be explosions, shit falling out of the sky, him riding a motorcycle, and a bunch of black slang. You know, colloquialisms.
But let me ask you a question.
Look at this guy.
What more
Because
do
that's
you
every
expect-
goddamn Michael Bay movie.
But what more do you expect from a Lobo movie?
Yeah.
No, you mean a Michael Bay movie.
Did you expect that Lobo was going to be holding a skull saying hither, there too? Like, what do we...
I expect Lobo to be Jason Momoa saying, yeah, on a
Well, he's
motorcycle.
already
he's already-
Aquaman.
Look, let me
I
They
can
need
see
to
that.
erase that.
let me just give a little.
They say he's also Lobo in the multiverse. Put some makeup on him.
Let me provide some character biography, right?
Okay.
As provided by Wikipedia.
I'm giving you a single for this one, by the way.
As provided by Wikipedia, right? And this is why it's up Michael, right up Michael Bay's alley, right?
The Bay Boy.
Yeah. Lobo is a Sarsian, right? With exceptional strength and fortitude, he enjoys nothing better than mindless violence and intoxication, and killing is an end in itself. His name roughly translates as
Megatron.
he who devours your entrails and thoroughly enjoys it. right? He is arrogant and self-centered,
What are his
focusing
powers?
almost solely on his own pleasures,
He's a
although
bro.
he proudly lives up
Bro.
to the letter of his promises, but always no more or no less than what he promised.
What is Lobo's powers?
Lobo is the last of his kind. He's a bro.
He's the super bro.
No,
He's a
but
super bro.
what he doesn't have any superpowers?
No, actually,
What planet is Lobo from?
I don't know. It says he's a Sarsian. I don't know what
Utopia.
planet. He's the last of his kind. Cause I should add this in. Lobo is the last of his kind, having committed complete genocide by killing all the other Sarsians for fun.
Lobo seems.
He killed all of his people.
Sounds like some shit Michael Bay would do.
Yeah.
This is right up. This is
No,
right
but
up his
here's
alley.
my question. I don't.
And-
Lobo
hold
seems
on.
like a cross between like Deadpool and like Ghost Rider or some
So
shit.
you're half right. He was a parody by the artists and the writers who created him in the '90s. Remember all those dope covers of
And Freakazoid.
Punisher. We remember those dope covers of Wolverine.
Yeah.
We remember those dope covers of who else?
Ghost Rider.
Ghost Rider, Deadpool, like just these macho
Cable.
thank
Cigar
you. These
smoking dudes.
cigar smoking badass
Motorcycle
dudes.
ridings.
And so what they did is they wanted to create a
Limousine
parody
riding,
of this
jet
guy,
flying.
of Wolverine, of Punisher, and so forth,
Son of
and
a
they
gun.
created Lobo. And they just wanted to make
All
jokes
the
on the
blood
Marvel.
shots and all
Yeah,
the-
they
all
just
the
wanted to make a
guys.
joke on the Marvel characters that were getting all of that press. But he wound up taking off, and people actually enjoyed his
They're like,
character.
oh crap! It's kind of like how
Deadpool.
You know, somebody could run for president as a joke, and then he becomes president.
And it's like, oh crap! Yeah,
Deadpool is definitely.
I
like,
wonder who that could be.
Deadpool
Anyway.
is definitely like a fourth wall breaking type of dude.
So you might get this from
Now, my question
Lobo.
is, do we get Transformers Dark of the Moon Michael Bay, or do we get Pain and Gain Michael Bay? Do we get 13 Hours Michael Bay, or do
He
we
directed
get
Pain and Gain. That was a good movie.
or do we
Yeah, he
get
did Pain and
Pearl
Gain.
Harbor Michael Bay?
I'm thinking you're
I
gonna
think
get.
Michael Bay produces good movies. He directed Pain and Gain or produced
He
it.
directed it. That's when you give him a $30 million budget and he actually has to think.
Yeah. If there's
So-
if there's too much
Think about
CG
that.
involved, it's like it's gonna be a shitty movie.
Look, man, you're gonna get a mixture, an amalgamation of all of his films.
All of Michael Bay's lower budget films, except for Armageddon, are
Right.
actually very
Like,
really
watchable
good to watch.
and good?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
like them.
You don't like
A lot.
Armageddon?
But
No,
his
I
big,
said except for Armageddon.
Okay.
That's like a big budget.
but his big budget movies are like, what the hell
except
is
for
going on?
Armageddon and Transformers. Yes.
Right.
I
Transformers.
don't want to
The first
close my
Transformers.
eyes. I don't want to fall
No,
asleep.
Armageddon was dope.
I miss you, baby.
Look, man,
Look, Lobo's
This
gonna
is
be
right
out
up
there
his
drinking
alley.
Bud Lights.
Yeah.
It's that. No,
it's
but
gonna be
I
a
think
lot of.
I'm gonna hold my judgment on it because Michael Bay is a mixed bag. The bad stuff that he's done has been all the Transformers except for 1 and 3.
And all the fucking
It's
Teenage
out of the
Ninja Turtles.
id of his mind. Out of all of his three, it's out of
The
the
two
id of his
Teenage Mutant Ninja
subconscious.
Turtle movies. What you thought about those?
But
Trash.
he didn't direct those. He produced.
It doesn't matter.
And
Same
I
shit.
didn't
His
like
name was
them.
all over them.
I didn't like them.
I don't
That's
like
how
the way
they.
they
That's
look.
how they had the.
I
Song.
don't like the cut of their jib.
But I'm gonna reserve judgment because if he does something like Pain and Gain
Right.
for a Lobo character, I think that could actually be very cool. Now, if they're saying they're giving him $150 million to make it,
The
I'm
Rock was
gonna
hilarious in
change-
that movie. Oh my god.
I'm gonna change my tune.
All
'cause
of them were, but
I
The
don't
Rock.
know. I think that Michael Bay, here's the other thing that I'll ask though about Michael Bay. Like we can shit on Michael Bay and we can shit on like Tyler Perry's and shit like that.
Right.
But those movies make money.
It
because
makes
he's
money.
talking to
Yeah,
an
certain
audience,
a
who looks
particular
at that
audience,
and
yep.
says like, "Yo, this is dope."
popcorn
so
movies,
I
bro.
can't deny
You
it.
need
Who are
popcorn
we to
movies.
Be like snooty and be like, "Oh,
Here's the whole
it
thing.
doesn't- It's
Oh,
not
I
good."
can be a little
I
snooty
can
about
say-
Michael Bay with some of his
I
track
can
records
say
and what he does.
whatever I
Yeah,
want
yeah.
about this movie. I still paid for my ticket to see every single one of them.
And that's why he
Whether
continues
or
to
not
rap
I
to the
enjoy
bank.
it, because I go to see it hoping that maybe he gets it right this time, because he's made other good movies. So maybe this one will be good.
Yeah, Michael Bay has made a handful of
Yes,
good movies.
he's because of
Yes.
he's made good
Yes.
movies. It's just like I always go see shit hoping it's gonna be good. But if it's too much CG involved, chances are
Okay, let me put it this way. If you took out because remember he also did The Rock.
Okay.
And he also did
Talking about with Sean Connery.
Yeah. And he also does this other movie with Ewan McGregor with the clones. I can't remember that.
I forget that.
But you know what I mean. But the point is, if you take out Transformers from the mix,
right,
he's done more good than bad.
Transformers and Ninja Turtles.
Okay.
He didn't direct Ninja Turtles.
Man, same shit.
It depends on what you enjoy from a Michael Bay film, but yeah, I can concede that somewhat.
All right.
But yeah,
enough time for Michael Bay. Yeah, we're running long. We're running long in the Tuesday.
Yeah, we're already like an hour and a half already.
All right, Moviepass. Here we're gonna give you a little lesson and tell you about. We're at the focal point. Thank you for reminding me, Mr. Woods. We want to talk to you a little bit about a service that I've been using for like 4 years now, and you guys are just getting up on. Like you're new to this. I feel like I knew the band when they were an indie band, and now they're blowing up. It's like Ed Sheeran all over again.
Oh, right. Let me find out Steve invested in Bitcoin.
I didn't. I wish I did. Although it's on the way down now.
Yeah. But thanks, Trump.
Nothing to do with Trump.
It's all Trump's fault. If you want to take credit for all the good, I'm blaming him for all the bad.
Okay. So, Moviepass is a service where you can pay $10 a month and you can go to the movie, and they're not paying us for this. You can go to the movies every day and see a new movie every day, 30 days, 31 days, February, Black History Month, the shortest month for some reason.
Right.
28 movies you can see in February. Okay. With the Moviepass, $10 a month. So it is taking America by storm. 1 in every 36 movie tickets purchased are purchased under the Moviepass banner. So they are.
So where do you apply for Moviepass at?
Moviepass.com.
Moviepass.com. Get your Moviepass today. Send me a check.
Definitely.
Right. I was like, you didn't get paid for that.
So, but my point is, how is this possible? Is $10 a month to see a new movie
you
every
too can
day,
watch movies every day.
Is that a sustainable business model? And why are theater chains so up in arms about this?
Of course they salty. That's going to F up their money. In the long run, the church's money. Because there's no way, I can't see how this is. It's good for me, the consumer.
Right.
But I don't see how this is going to make them money in the long run if they're paying them the full price of the ticket.
Yeah, Moviepass is paying them. So when you use
because it's on some like pyramid scheme shit. It's just like, okay, we get new people paying all the time, but everybody don't go see it at the time, so we gonna use the money that we made from this one to pay you, and then hope that shit don't F up.
You mean Ponzi scheme?
Yes, that's what it is.
Yeah, that is.
That's super what it is.
That's one way to look at it. I mean, now the CEO of Moviepass, who used to work at Netflix, says that it's more of an insurance. He says he's an insurance salesman. So he says most people use the Moviepass a lot.
Shout out to Bernie Madoff.
They use the Moviepass a lot in the first 2 months, and then it kind of dithers down. And I'll say, look, when a new movie comes out, because you can't see 3D or IMAX movies, when a new like Star Wars or Marvel or DC movie comes out, I go see that in IMAX, so I don't use my Moviepass for that.
Right.
And
but it's like this.
So many things on. Hang on, there's so many things on Netflix that I really only go to the movies when there's a big superhero movie out. So maybe they're right. Go ahead.
Beyond that, if you have a Moviepass, let's say you have the Moviepass, you're still bringing your girlfriend, your kids, whatever the hell. So you're not paying for your ticket, but I'm sure everybody doesn't have a Moviepass for everybody in their family.
Now, let me ask you guys a question. Although they do say they're going to be rolling out
packages, family packages,
and +1 passes. But let me ask you guys a question. If the theater chains like AMC are getting paid full price for these tickets, what are they so upset about? Why are they hating? What do you guys think?
They're losing control. Okay. Right? Because eventually, and I think we spoke about this briefly, we didn't get into full detail, but where Moviepass now gets to have the power in their hands to kind of dictate who they're dealing with, who they're working with, where us the consumers should go, because we're going to now that I have the Moviepass card, if I find out that this theater chain is not rocking with them, I'm not going to pay no $15, $16 for a ticket. I'll just go to the next spot that I can pay $16. I mean, pay for a free ticket. Whomever's working with Moviepass, that's how I'm going to rock with it. So that's where I think AMC, well, not AMC particularly, but these certain theaters are getting worried and cautious because they don't know how they get to dictate, how much the ticket is going to cost and things like that, when we're just like, well, you're not messing with them, I'm out. We'll move on to somebody else.
What do you think, LeVar?
Like I said, Ponzi scheme. It's not a sustainable thing.
And so you think that when the proverbial shit hits the fan, because this is what AMC says, I think they agree with you, that there's no way that this is sustainable.
There's no way.
And
if everybody goes see a movie every damn day, there's no way, because that's like $100 and like how much dollars a week.
But now what
the
AMC
truth is,
says,
everybody's not going to be going to see.
But if it did, they're after. It can be certain months where it fluctuates, and then it f's up all their back end money that they were using to fund it. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Now here's the thing. The theater chains like AMC are saying, yes, it is a Ponzi scheme or whatever. It's destined to fail. But what they will bring the theater industry down with them, because they will devalue the price of tickets. Because if I'm so used to paying $10 a month to see as many movies as I want, and then that fails, and then I go back to the theater and they're like, oh, one movie is $15, I'm going to be like, F you.
Let me explain to you something. The future is coming to where, because with
Cloverfield paradox,
home projectors and whatnot, and just the fact of how fast movies come on cable, 4K TV, movies is just gonna come straight out
instantly after the Super Bowl.
Instantly, you will just like this. They'll show the commercial. This movie is coming out. I can watch it right now. Why am I going to a theater for? I can get a big screen setup or whatever the hell setup and watch it right in the comfort of my home. And they're gonna make their money because everybody could just order it right there from the TV. Why am I even gonna go? It's similar to when Blockbuster didn't realize, okay, this digital thing is coming. We need to jump on that. They're gonna die.
I think so.
It's gonna die.
To just jump on to what LeVar is saying, is that is the same way when we were talking about big budget movies and how they fund the smaller artsy, as you say, artsy fartsy movies, right? How these big budget movies fund those artsy fartsy movies is something where they have to accept, and you said it somewhat in this kind of way, or I'm like paraphrasing, but we have to accept that these superhero movies, this is their golden age, and just in general, big budget movies help fund the other movies, right?
Yes.
And either you keep up or you get put out.
Just like
you said just now, that how things are changing with Netflix and Cloverfield paradox and everything else, and how things, either the movie theaters keep up or they're going to get shut out. What this does, I think, with Moviepass, and I don't know what their long-term vision is, but what it does is that it helps people say, you know what, I will go to the theaters again. It's putting people in the seats in these odd days when you normally don't have anybody, because you're just so banked on Thursday, Friday, Saturday showings that you forget about the Sunday through Tuesday. Sunday through Wednesday. And so for me, for example,
going to the movies on a Tuesday afternoon.
Moviepass, I didn't have anything to do, and it was random. I was just like, all right, you know what? I went and got some groceries, and I just went down to go to the movies.
Did you buy nachos while you were there?
No, I bought popcorn.
Oh, but you spent money.
But I spent money.
Now,
you know what I'm saying?
And
it was randomly on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
Why? I wouldn't be in no theater on a Tuesday.
On a Tuesday, they about to raise the prices on them nachos or something.
Here's the thing.
Some way.
Any theater owner, and this is an old quote from a theater chain, they said, I'm not in the movie business, I'm in the candy business. Because those ticket sales, most of them, opening weekend, most of that goes to the studio.
Yeah.
Right? The theaters actually don't get a lot of money from your movie tickets. Right? So if the theaters are making money from selling you a $6 bottle of goddamn water.
Oh my God.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And an $8 stale hot dog.
Right.
That's how they're making their money. And you are more likely to go in there and spend money because you got your ticket for free.
Right.
Now, here's the real reason I think they're afraid. And this comes back to what you were saying, Yabi. I think that, yes, Moviepass plays the nice guy now. Yeah, we're paying full price. Yeah, don't worry. You shouldn't complain. You're getting full price of the tickets. Oh, we're gonna drop the price down, because I had Moviepass back and it was $35.
That's what I wanted you to mention.
And then they raised it up to $45, and it worked for me because I was going to the movies every week, sometimes twice a week. So it still worked out. But now that it's $10 and you have all the Johnny-come-latelys come there, what they are gonna get right now, 1 in every 36 movie tickets sold is sold through Moviepass.
Right.
Now,
that's a big deal.
Once they get larger, I guarantee you they're gonna go to the theater chains and say, "Look, we need that discount." right? We need
Like,
these
all I'm
tickets for
saying,
$7 each.
Anybody who's trying to invest in Moviepass, invest in it now. Get
It
your
still
money
may
and then
fail.
sell.
Okay, yeah.
Sell it quick.
No, but and we do not pretend to give any financial advice.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say financial advice provided by Mr.
Nope,
LeVar over
nope,
here.
We do not
Stock
do that
tips.
here. Now, here's the
You
thing.
can get it all on our Square Network.
Here's
Right.
the thing. What is going to happen is they are going to exert power over these theater chains. And maybe
Right.
that needs to happen. But because what's going to happen is once they get scale and they say, oh, AMC, this theater on 42nd Street, they don't take Moviepass. You know what I'm doing? Not going there.
Exactly.
Right? I'm going to go to the
Falling
ones that
out of
take
here.
it. And
Exactly.
then when other theater chains see how much money is lost by being like excommunicated from the Moviepass network,
Right.
then other theater chains are gonna fall right in line.
Yep.
And that is a problem for a business that
Dangerous.
is already struggling to fight against streaming services
Yep.
and rising. By the way, movie ticket prices
Hello,
cost so
darkness,
much
my
these
old
days
friend.
because movies like Star Wars and Avengers cost $250 and $300 million to make.
Hey, man.
That is why. It's not the theaters raising those prices. It's the studios trying to recoup on these big budget movies. So if you can make Deadpool...
Yo, if that's the case
for-
of big
for-
budget
for
movies, if a
$60
movie
million,
only costs like $10 million, then the ticket should be like, $6. The price should be reflective of how much the movie costs.
That's interesting.
That's
but I feel like
interesting.
you're
Even
getting a real
that
slippery
that
slope.
gets crazy.
Yo,
yeah.
bro, it should be.
Yo, my movie costs $900 million.
It costs this how much is a ticket.
I need
That's it.
$30 from you
That's
for
it.
this ticket.
No, there is an argument to go around, and I
Yeah.
hope Moviepass stays because I think
Anybody
it
want
will
these ideas,
get people to
send me a
fall
check.
in love with the
I got a
theater
million.
again.
Yep, I agree with that.
Because I'll tell you right now, if I didn't have Moviepass, I would have waited for 3 billboards in Ebbing, Missouri, and Phantom Thread.
Phantom Thread
And The
and-
Post. I
yep.
would have watched them, but it
Yep.
would have been on demand or on Netflix. I wouldn't have went to the theaters, but I did go to the
Exactly.
theater, and I don't drink soda, but I did buy nachos when I was there.
And enjoyed those
And I will
movies.
never pay $6 for a bottle of the water, but you get my point.
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
yes,
because you just bring in your own in the inside
No,
pocket.
I drink after because they might check
There
it
we
back.
go.
But
Nice.
all right, now
Man.
time to have some fun, folks. We're going on to
Wrapping
what
it
would
up
you
with
do?
some-
We're
That-
gonna wrap
that
this
wasn't
thing
it.
up.
Nice.
So, Chris
What would
McKay,
you do?
who is directing the Nightwing movie in the DC universe, is he is looking for help in casting Nightwing.
Right.
And just to keep things, keep everybody up to date, he wants to make this movie like The Raid and The Raid Redemption. If you haven't seen that movie, what the hell are you doing?
What are you doing? Thank you.
But this is a more gritty movie. It's not big on special effects. It's big on practical effects
Right.
and real fight scenes, choreographed,
Nice.
hardcore. Like
I'm here for it.
Right. So small movie, smaller budget. This is what I like to see for a Nightwing. Probably it's going to take place in Bloodhaven. But he wants to know who he should cast as Nightwing. Who is going to be Dick Grayson? And
All
we
right.
all gave you our picks.
Yes.
So first on the list, I believe, is Mr.
Drum
Woods.
roll.
But let me confirm that because I don't want to just pop your picture up.
Who do you?
Okay.
Who's
Yes.
up? Who's up first?
No. Mr. Johnson.
Oh,
Tell him who you got.
Yo, why you always picking me first, bro?
That's the order of the pictures, man.
No, bro. I'm tired of this shit.
Who
You
you
the
got?
star.
Picking me first. God damn it. My pick is the goddamn winner. My pick is Eggsy, who you know from the goddamn
Just like that. He
these
claiming it.
movies, the
He's claiming
Kingsman
it.
movies, the Kingsman fame.
Edgerton.
Edgerton, Mr. Edgerton himself, because we've already seen him do, stunts and this flippity fighting shit. He can do all of that. I could see him as Nightwing. And if they was to pick Mr. Brokeback Mountain himself, Jake Gyllenhaal to be the new Batman,
Right.
I think that he works well. Age-wise, height-wise, he works.
Okay.
I could see it.
You can see him playing opposite Jake Gyllenhaal.
I could see it. And he's proven that he can do that type of work.
Right, and he's in shape for it.
Yes.
All right.
There
now,
you go.
Mr. Woods.
Yes, sir.
Who is your Dick Grayson?
Dick Grayson for me is Zac Efron.
Zac Efron.
Mr. High School Musical?
Okay,
Mr. High School
Have you
Musical?
seen him lately though?
Baywatch.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's
he's
out
brolic,
there.
But I ain't never
Spit.
seen him. Like you said that he does some acrobatic shit.
Well,
but
no,
we're not
he's
talking
in,
about
he's in The
in
Greatest, Showman.
Like he doesn't.
What
like,
if The Greatest Showman was a
trappy
prequel?
stuff?
It's a prequel to Nightwing. Look, I mean, Dick Grayson.
Does he sing in it too?
He's a singer. He does
So
it
he's
all,
gonna
man.
break out singing in Nightwing?
You just might see it. Listen,
Word.
Zac Efron, right? He's a fellow Libra.
He's gonna sing,
born in October. So that
Okay.
means he's a cool guy.
Okay.
He's chill.
All around cool dude.
All around cool dude.
He's
you
gonna
know,
break into a chorus of Jingle Bells, Batman smells, Robin laid an egg.
he might do whatever it is you need to
Batmobile
see.
lost the wheel in the
He's
Joker
gonna
got
handle
away.
You see how this guy's getting? Now that's only coming because he's in such defensive mode about.
You said he's scared.
He's scared over there, man, because of his exy guy.
Eggsy is a great choice, bro.
Okay.
Zac
And you know
Efron.
that's a great choice.
Zac Efron is
I can see it.
not only is he built for the role,
He's
right?
built for this.
He has the facial structure.
He got the jawline.
He got the
He's too pretty for
jawline. You know, listen, Dick Grayson was a handsome
Dick Grayson
dude.
is a
you know
little
what I mean?
pretty ass dude.
He
He used
out
to
there?
run around in his
Nah.
briefs.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
man.
saying?
You
And his
know,
little green
young
panties.
punk.
listen, and I think he can. It's not confirmed that Jake Gyllenhaal is going to be the next Batman, but if he was,
But Eggsy works with anybody who's Batman, any older Batman.
Holy dancing high school boys, Batman.
Zac Efron, man, we just saw his prequel. We just saw his come up story in Greatest Showman, and now we're going to see him grow up and do his thing.
You know, if you say so, but Eggsy.
He definitely didn't look tough in that movie.
He don't
And
like
what?
Zac Efron
And,
don't give me
Greatest
tough.
Showman.
He's not supposed to be tough.
But
But I'm just
Nightwing
saying,
is tough.
anything that I've seen him do, he
Cause
doesn't give me tough.
Listen, man.
He doesn't give
worry
me
about
tough or brooding or that he could whoop some ass.
No, well,
You
I mean,
haven't
he's
seen
actually
it
a
yet.
good
You
actor.
haven't seen
He's
it yet.
done brooding. If you watch Charlie St. Cloud, like, guy can act.
I ain't seen it.
All right.
I don't see it.
All right,
Eggsy.
now let
Zac
me
Efron's got it.
Eggsy.
let me go ahead and win this challenge
Oh
again.
God.
Okay, so my
This
pick.
guy's
The
awfully,
biggest
like,
loser.
Yeah, the biggest loser. you are the weakest link.
Listen, this is a
We
A-B
gonna
conversation,
save
a
the
1-2
worst
conversation.
for last.
Okay,
Right.
all right. Now let me just break this down to you.
Oh,
You guys got all your Zac Efron,
Right,
your
right.
Taron Egertons, and all
Right,
that.
right,
your
right.
Kingsman. Guess what?
What?
I believe they're gonna reboot the DCEU.
Okay.
And see, because we're taking a smaller take on this and we're doing practical effects, you know what that kind of reminds me of?
What?
It reminds me of the Nolan universe. So you know what? I say if you reboot the DCEU, reboot it into Christopher Nolan's Batman
But then that's not
universe
rebooting it.
Bam.
use Joseph Gordon-Levitt. And
The original Robin.
have him as Nightwing, and then you recast Batman in Matt Reeves' trilogy, but you just bring in a new Batman, recast, and bring him in and just continue what Christopher Nolan started. And you start.
How do you do that
and
if you don't
build
bring back
your DCEU
Christian Bale?
You don't have to bring him back. You just.
But if you're
just
bringing back him
recasting
as Robin, how
that's
do you not?
fine because he's the glue that's going to tell you this is the same universe.
Yeah,
And you
no.
start your universe.
You know his
from
name
that.
was John Blake, right?
You start your but what
He
called,
wasn't
they
even
called
Dick
him
Grayson.
Robin.
He
They
wasn't
called
even
him
Dick
Robin
Grayson,
when
though.
That was
They
a
called
fake
him
name.
Robin.
He's
Come
an
on, he
orphan.
wasn't even Dick
He's
Grayson,
an orphan.
man. He was
Born
a
Dick
cop.
Grayson. The boy mama called him Dick Grayson. I'm calling Dick Grayson. Now listen.
Yeah, nah.
You start your DC universe on a strong foundation because that's the problem with the DCEU. They don't have a strong foundation.
Right.
So you say that the Nolan verse is your foundation, and you reintroduce
So
Superman
we're gonna
and
take it
Wonder
back
Woman and all of that.
5 movies to this. Like
All-
we're gonna
none of
erase
that
all that
happened.
shit.
Don't you wish
We
none of it
flash
happened?
We flash
Don't you
forward
wish
after
none
that,
of it happened?
and then it goes
All
back
I'm
to that.
saying,
His
All
name
I'm
was
just saying
John
is
Blake.
that-
That's all I'm saying.
All I'm just saying is that movie was the movie that you're praising was trash.
yo, don't disrespect it.
The Dark Knight Rises was trash.
Don't disrespect
It
the
was
Dark Knight
trash.
It
trilogy.
wasn't that bad.
All I'm saying
It wasn't
is
that bad. It wasn't that good.
you reboot
on,
into
man.
that
Batman, you
universe
sure?
and you started off
Fuck on
with
outta
your,
here, bro.
and we're a few years later and Dick Grayson is Nightwing
This shit
now,
fucking
Joseph
terrible.
Gordon-Levitt, and then Batman comes back because he feels like the Dick Grayson ain't been,
How old
ain't
is
been
this
keeping
guy?
the town right.
How old is he? Like 40?
So hold on.
He's like mid-30s.
Hold on.
He's
So
like 40.
hold on. So JGL
Nah.
is going to work opposite
Opposite
of
Jake Gyllenhaal?
Jake
No,
Gyllenhaal.
you bring somebody
Fuck
else
no.
in. That deal ain't done.
Who they gonna bring in?
So then hold
You
on.
don't
That
gotta
means
cast him.
your premise is based upon JGL and not even finding Batman. Not
So
even
who's gonna
casting
be Batman?
Jeffrey
Batman
Dean
has
Morgan?
to be cast based upon
Huh?
JGL.
No, that's not what we're
Jeffrey
talking
Dean
about.
Morgan?
That
wasn't
is
the
that's
game.
no, that's
That
what's
wasn't the
happening.
game.
Jeffrey Dean Morgan is going to be Batman now? Because that's the only way that'll work.
Not necessarily. First of all, how much older was Christian Bale than Joseph Gordon-Levitt? So the age difference don't.
But
got
that was
that
like
far.
10 years ago, though.
Yeah, but he looked young.
That was like 10 years ago, though.
And I would argue that Christian
when
Bale.
did The Dark Knight Rises come out?
What?
When did Dark Knight Rises come out?
It came out a while ago.
Exactly.
Like 2013,
so, exactly.
2014.
Okay.
But
that was mad long ago. He's old now.
Listen, Christian Bale is not that much older than
to quote Charlemagne, fart all over those bars. No.
Okay. Christian Bale is not that much older than Jake Gyllenhaal. How about that?
All I'm saying, look,
we're gonna look this up real quick.
All I'm saying, no. All I'm saying,
Steve, you are the weakest link.
Your premise is based upon the director working around JGL and not finding Batman first.
You know what? Bring back Christian Bale.
No,
give him Robert Downey Jr. money.
Nah, your pick don't work.
No, because you want me to pick that I pick. You put me on the spot. I'm bringing back Christian Bale. That's it. You give him $50 million. I bet you come back. You give him that Robert Downey Jr. money.
Yo, Jake Gyllenhaal is gonna see Joseph Gordon-Levitt and be like, "Hey, were we in the same high school?"
Yeah.
And he's gonna be like, "Yeah, no, I'm actually the guy you took in as an orphan."
JGL is actually older than Jake Gyllenhaal.
Don't worry about that.
Listen, man. Nope, that's it.
Nah.
So
that's it. I win.
Right, we're good.
Lose.
No, you lose.
That's it.
You lose, Mr.
But
Stock.
listen.
You lose.
Tell us who you think Robin should be. Tell us who you think Nightwing
Definitely
should be.
not JGL.
Right.
Tell us if you have a Moviepass and how it's working out for you. Tell us which one of the Super Bowl trailers you like the best. Tell us if you think Tom Cruise eats babies.
Yes, he clearly does.
Oh my God.
And did you tell us if what you thought about the Cloverfield paradox? And we will come back to you next week with a great show. But before we do that, tell them where they
Different
can find
bad time.
you and what
Same
you're
bad channel.
watching this week coming, Mr. Woods. What are you watching this week and where can they find you?
That's obvious. Black Panther.
Nigga, duh.
That's a given. What else?
Black Panther.
Oh, you're watching it again.
Steve?
Yeah, Black Panther.
All I'm gonna say is, you know why I'm here.
Okay.
But yeah, you can find me at Why Woods Why Not on any social media platform or whywoodswhynot.com. But Black Panther, that's what I'm going to
Does that mean you're on Snapchat?
No.
Okay.
Okay, so not any, but whatever. Okay.
Some, most.
A
few.
Black Panther. That's
Mr. Johnson, where can they find you?
At the particulars, also, the dude abides with a Z and a couple periods in between. And what I'm watching is goddamn Black Panther.
There you go.
5 days. Everybody, 5 days we
straight.
Need you out. You better go see this goddamn movie. You think it's a joke? You lost your black card, you don't go see this movie.
Oh, boy.
I said it.
Yeah,
shit.
card.
I'm looking at you.
There.
I'm talking to you.
I see what you did there.
All right. Don't get me riled up.
Okay, you just turned into Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
All right.
He did.
And
saw some green.
I am Steve Johnson, and you can find me on your favorite social media network as long as it's not Snapchat at Steve A.M. Johnson. And this week, aside from Black Panther, I'm going to finally try to get into Altered Carbon. We'll see how that works.
I didn't
said
say
I was
that
going to do that last week, and it didn't turn out that way.
Right.
So, thank you for watching. Check out our other shows. We got the second page if you're into politics.
Yes.
If
all
you're
that good
into
stuff.
being a father, you can check out 36 Chambers of Fatherhood.
Yes,
Boom,
yes.
more for you on the way in 2018.
Big things.
Join us on the
Big
race
things are
to
going
10,000
2004. 2018.
Tell a friend to tell a friend. And
that is them again.
Are out of here.
No,
Hugs not drugs, man.
Wild grandmothers.
No, I wasn't going to forget, man. I wanted y'all to say bye.
Oh, all right.
Hugs not drugs. Thanks for stealing the thunder, man.
Listen, man, I thought you was going to get out of it.
All right, folks. Until the next time.
Deuces.